Breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Or is it?
They have this spaceship library.
Sloth v Dolphin. Who wins the breath hold?
Do you care that Rafael Nadal has retired?
I'm a Smithbuster, I guess.
Did you hear about this banana that was stuck on a wall?
3 kids with the same birthday on different years.
Top 5 most beautiful cars of all time.
How does snow work?
Is there any proof that Santa is real?
Hungry. Dummies. Hungry. Dummies. Hungry. Dummies.
It's the Hungry Dummies. Boom.
Boom.
How's it going, partner?
Yeah, alright, partner, how you going?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah? Yeah?
It's a busy Friday night again in
Oh,
the
yeah?
town.
Yeah. Both of us just inside, living the life.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah? Yeah, nice.
Got a haircut today.
Oh,
Very
yeah?
exciting.
Oh, yeah?
Can you?
Oh, yeah, it's definitely there's a big difference on the size.
Yeah,
It's more,
it's not doing.
it's more,
There we go.
it's more streamlined.
Yeah, well, I've every time I've been going, I'm saying I want a mullet, but a professional
Yeah.
mullet. And now I'm like, let's go a little bit less professional, but still professional. So he got the clippers
Yeah.
out this time, but like the highest, number 8.
Number 8. Okay.
Yeah, on the clippers.
I thought Clippers got to like number 4 or something. I swear that's like the long, maybe. Number
Well,
8's
Laver.
huge.
He's lying.
He's a liar. But the concept of a professional mullet's pretty funny.
Yeah. At first, he was like, what do you mean? Like,
Yeah.
well, I want a mullet, but when I go into the office, I don't want to look like a total clown.
Yeah.
And he kind of got it.
He kind of got it. I mean, I think you're on the verge there. Like, at the moment, you can't really see the party at the back. It's like,
Yeah.
It's streamlined. Whereas you can get some ones that just,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to get
Nice.
there eventually.
Yeah. I mean, as I was saying, like, I think you look pretty Australian at the moment. A mustache
that's
and a
good.
mullet is like a passport into the country. You're fine.
I like that. I like
Yeah.
looking Australian.
That's
Greatest country in the world.
There you go. Amen.
But yeah, no, good day today. Nice lunch, nice dinner before this call. Made myself some steak.
That's good. Nice.
Good brekkie. Been on the yoga trend.
Oh yeah, it's such a
The
good
most
summer.
important meal of the day, apparently.
Well, that's what they used to teach us at school. Like, I feel like I remember that being driven in your head. Like, start the day the right way.
Well, let me tell you. So,
Okay.
breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Or is it? So you really think it's vital? Well, think again. Because that whole breakfast is the most important meal of the day was something just cooked up by Kellogg's to sell more cereal. Yep.
Kellogg's.
The whole thing is just marketing genius.
Mm.
You can picture like the boardroom of Kellogg's, bunch of
Yeah.
execs just laughing as the whole world's panicking over missing their cornflakes. Meanwhile, breakfast, totally optional. Classic corporate move, making us all stress about a meal that doesn't
Yeah.
even matter if you skip it.
Hmm.
Just cereal
see-
propaganda.
I can see what they've done there, but is there still no? I wonder if there's any science behind it, or if it just doesn't matter because
It's just marketing.
fasting's become a thing.
Exactly. And fasting all these health benefits by skipping breakfast.
So breakfast is useless. It's just a marketing
Useless.
scheme.
Useless. Just like it's the exact same sitch with bacon. You know how
Oh yeah.
bacon, the breakfast food? Well,
Mhm.
you think bacon's a must for breakfast? No. Big surprise. Marketing material all cooked up by pork industry back in the 1920s.
The 20s. Wow.
Yep, they wanted to sell more bacon, launched a campaign, got a guru, and worked like a charm. They even hired a doctor to recommend bacon as a healthy breakfast. So it became so synonymous with a healthy breakfast that they started saying it's a hearty start to the day. But reality is they just wanted to sell more pork, and All us schmucks bought that marketing material the next day.
Dr. Bacon got us. He got us good, old Doc.
They did. It's all rubbish.
Yeah.
Cereal propaganda.
Nice. I mean, I've always said that breakfast is probably one of my favorite meals. I don't know
It's
why.
delicious.
It is. Maybe it's because it's almost there's so many little desserts you can have. Like obviously these delicious cocoa pops. You can have pancakes, waffles. They're all delicious little muffins, pastries. I
You're
love
just
it.
talking about sugar.
Well, yeah, everyone loves
Yeah.
sugar. But I
Yeah.
mean, of course, there's a million other breakfasts that can be mentioned. But I just always love breakfast.
Yeah, it's nice
Yeah.
also because you've just woken up and it's like a little reward after sleeping, you
A
know?
tough night of sleeping, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
But I
Um,
think logically it makes sense as far as, first thing you put in your body, you want to, want it to be something good and sustainable, like a good carbohydrate, like a porridge, which I've been on that train recently. And I'm like,
mhm.
sets you up for that long lasting energy, is my thought behind it.
But do you really need the energy after you've just regained all this energy after sleeping?
Probably not. But you
Yeah,
could say
it's a
that about
hoax.
anything. It's like, do you need a coffee in the morning? Do you need a
No,
cup of tea?
people don't.
Yeah,
Coffee's a hoax.
yeah.
It's
It's like,
just
I
the
mean,
best gateway drug to anything.
the thing you probably really need, which I always do, is like just a big glass of water in the morning. I feel like I'm so thirsty in the morning, first thing.
Oh
I'm like, I
yeah,
can't
yeah,
wait.
yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
So that's all you
I
need.
mean, I need
That's,
it throughout the night. I wake up
yeah.
like someone's been strangling me the whole night with like the driest mouth.
Yeah. Oh, mate, that's all right. Well, it's good
Oh,
to know that
mate.
breakfast, mate. It's good to know that the breakfast industry is a big old hoax. I tell you that much.
Mate.
I'll never go to a cafe ever again, mate.
Talking about strangling, I got another one for you.
Yeah.
So you weren't a big fan of Dexter though, were you?
I I was into it. Ness wasn't that into it. It seemed a bit slow
Oh,
at the start. I was curious where I still kind of want to watch it.
oh, you haven't watched it?
No, 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 no.
Oh man, it's legit.
One of the best
Like
shows of ever, baby.
it's a very very good show.
Okay.
But anyway, you know the concept, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
Murderer,
the
Florida.
murderer, Florida.
Was it? He's a. What's the investigator? What's the crime case? Whatever
Yeah,
the
the
word
like a
is.
blood splatter guy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
But he only kills bad people.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So there's actually a real life Dexter Morgan, by the
That's
name
terrifying.
of Pedro Rodriguez Filo, or Killer PD. He was this
Killer PD.
Brazilian serial killer,
Mm.
and he was pretty much a real life Dexter Morgan, like a vigilante. Like, so it started at the age of 14, and he took out suspected criminals like drug dealers, murderers, rapists, even a
Mm.
whole gang that killed his pregnant girlfriend. Like, took revenge to the next level. And then officially got sentenced for 71 murders, but claimed to have killed over 100. So the guy
Oh,
got
mate.
34 years in prison, got out
Yeah.
in 2007, back in 2011, then back free in 2018 on good behavior, and guess what? Becomes a YouTuber.
No
Just,
way.
yeah,
Of
YouTuber.
course. Of
So
course. So
this
everyone
guy,
does.
yeah, blurred the
Yeah.
line between justice horror, mimic of one of the like most famous shows of all time, and then just starts smashing it on YouTube.
So remind me, he was the OG though. Like, did he become before the show Dexter, or did Dexter bite
Oh
his
no,
style?
he would have come much before the show.
So you wonder if did Dexter get that as inspiration, or did they know about this dude? You don't know.
Maybe, but then
Yeah,
again,
yeah.
it's not like such a unique idea, right?
Not
Like you're
really.
like,
No.
we need a murderer, but how do we make the murderer good?
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah,
he
yeah.
only murders bad people. Like
So you're
it's
on his
seems
side.
like a
Yeah,
logical
yeah.
kind of thing.
That's an interesting story. I've been curious.
Hmm.
Is there any proof that Santa is real? Because I was watching this movie, The Santa Claus.
With Tim Allen.
Tim Allen, 1994, great year.
Yeah.
And it really had me thinking. Really got my brain wondering about, the magic and spirit of Christmas and, Santa's, big influence across the world. And so I started looking into it, and there's definitely some history behind it. Do you know anything about this history as far as, the Dutch and
Yeah, the
Sinterklaas?
Dutch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And there's multiple versions. I think the original Santa Claus wore green,
I think you might be
and
right there. Yeah.
the modern day Santa Claus was actually invented, marketing scheme, Coca-Cola.
I
I
didn't
think
see that pop up. Yeah.
it was the friend of the CEO of Coca-Cola that looked like this guy, big cheerful, big white beard, and he's like, "That's the new Santa, and Bob's your uncle."
Crazy.
Could
Because this
could it be making
Sinterklaas,
that up? But I'm pretty sure that's true.
we can fact check it. Sinterklaas, the Dutch have their celebration on the 5th and 6th of December. And then I guess it's around St. Nicholas's death. And they exchange presents and gifts on that day, which I found pretty interesting. And then they have all these traditional Christmas style foods which sound delicious. I'm going to try and pronounce them all. So there's chocolate de letters, which are chocolate letters.
Mm-hmm.
So chocolate in the shape of letters. There's pepernoten and grugelnoten, which is a crunchy, coin-sized, half-round Dutch cookie, which is a traditional part of the Sinterklaas holiday. There's speculaas and gevelud speculaas. So speculaas is a traditional Dutch spice that's similar to the North American pumpkin pie spice. And it's also a cookie filled with almond paste. So it sounds pretty delicious.
Mm-hmm.
Then they have strugigud, which is mixed candy
Strugigud.
with little cookies in it, which sounds pretty delicious as well. Looks really colorful. Then they have marzipan tai tai, which is a festive shaped cookie, aniseed taste, and it's chewy because of honey inside of it. It actually translates, I found out, to tough tough, which doesn't really sell it. They don't really
Like
want a
me.
tough cookie. Yeah. Tough tough. And they have mandarin oranges. Maybe that's just oranges or mandarins. But yeah, I found it pretty interesting that a lot of these Dutch families, they celebrate both this Sinterklaas early and Christmas on the 25th.
You know the Office episode when Dwight does the Christmas episode and he wants to do traditional Dutch Christmas?
Every year, my grandfather would dress up as Belschnickel at Christmas. He was okay at it. I am great. You know how they say some people were born to be bad? Well, I was born to be Belschnickel.
I put a picture up of old Dwight, but yeah, he looks pretty funny. Looks like a forest man with a huge sack.
Yeah.
It's Bell's Nickel, it says.
Oh,
I don't know what that
Belschnickel.
is.
Yeah.
Crotchety fur-clad Christmas gift-bringer figure in the folklore of Palatinate region of southwestern Germany. Of course, that sounds pretty Dwight. They say in this movie, I'm like, seeing isn't believing. Believing is seeing. And I was like, that is
That's
pretty
schizophrenic.
true. That's schizophrenic. And I've also been getting into magic heaps on sleight of hand. And it's just so cool. I don't know, I
is
just
cool.
sometimes get into it. And I feel like it's in the best. It's the power of apparently influencing events by using mysterious or supernatural forces.
Yeah.
Like, surely
David
you're
Blaine,
a magic.
Chris Angel.
Yeah, David. Yeah, surely you're a magic dude.
Yeah. Like I used to watch Mind Freak all the time. Is that what
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
called? Mind Freak, right?
Mind Freak, yeah.
Yeah, and
I
David
remember.
Blaine,
I remember OG Copperfield. It was
Copperfield.
pretty.
It was a big scam, though.
He was a big scam. Like, I remember
Yeah.
they showed how he did it. Like, I'm gonna move the Empire State Building or whatever it was, and just moves the camera. I guess it's kind of magic. Like,
Yeah.
or making an elephant disappear. I'm like, yeah, you're just moving the camera. Like,
Yeah.
you haven't got
No,
me.
he was a big scammer. But David Blaine does some wild shit. Like, did you listen to him when he did the podcast round a few years ago?
No, I didn't.
And like because he always really liked Houdini, and
Yeah.
Houdini just trained his body to do wild things. So David Blaine eventually he's like, I want to get to that next step, and just started
Yeah.
putting his body through like crazy tests. And
Yeah,
I think
he's nuts.
he did like a Houdini, something Houdini as well, like sat in water for a
Yeah,
ridiculous
he's got like
amount
a
of time.
long breath, like one of the maybe the longest breath hold.
Yeah,
But yeah, he's done some crazy stuff as well. Like I think he got into fire breathing, and I don't know. I'm trying to think of other stuff. He's eating glass is pretty insane.
yeah,
He
yeah,
trapped
yeah,
himself in
wild.
ice for like I don't know, I can't remember how long he was in the ice box for.
Oh, it's the
Um,
ice. Yeah, yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
Frozen in time
Um,
stunt for 63 hours, 42 minutes.
Wild,
Yeah, and he
wild.
started like hallucinating and stuff. His breath holds
Yeah,
17 minutes.
yeah, nuts. Talking about breath holds. So,
Yeah.
Sloth v Dolphin. Who wins the breath hold?
Well, first instincts, you'd have to go with dolphin, but I think that's a trick because you'd think sloth
No,
because
you'd
they're
think
so.
dolphins. You would. Most people would think
Yeah,
dolphins. If I didn't ask you that, you knowing I
yeah,
have something up
exactly.
my sleeve.
Yeah, of
Well,
course.
wrong. Sloths crush it. They crush dolphins. They can hold their breath up to 40 minutes. Dolphins, pathetic 10 minutes. And what's the secret? Just being super slow sloths. So they got like a ridiculously slow metabolism. And they activate like their, classic sloth mode. And the
Mm,
lungs are pretty much just built to be that efficient. So they conserve oxygen and it makes them actually really good at dodging predators underwater. So everyone
yeah.
thinks of that sloth sleeping on the tree, but they're actually pretty badass.
I mean, yeah, but I'm trying to think why they would have a purpose to hold their breath for 40 minutes. Like, just to be really zen and relaxed, drop their heart rate completely.
Well, I guess it's like because they're pretty terrible, they can just dive into the water and hold their breath
What do
and
you mean?
hide.
Oh, right. As in, they're terrible at defending themselves.
Yeah. So like if they just don't do anything, they're sitting on a branch above a lake, just,
Yeah.
nope, and just sink.
And a jaguar is trying to go and get them. Yeah.
Maybe.
Like a
I
jaguar
think,
could go and climb up a tree and just get a sloth, surely.
but could a jaguar go underwater? Probably, actually.
It probably could, but could it hold its breath for 40 minutes? Probably not.
No. So if the jaguar came into the water and the sloth said, "Hold on, I challenge you to a breath hold, and then you can eat me," the
Yeah.
jaguar would be done.
So the sloth just slink to the bottom of the water and maybe
I
swim.
don't know. I'm just making this up as potentially a reason they can hold their breath.
Right. Well, it's a good defense mechanism.
Yeah, yeah.
That's pretty fascinating. So dolphins are basically, I'm not going to say useless because I love dolphins, but
mm,
they're not as impressive as you'd think they'd be. It'd be a skill you'd
nah,
think.
and they're kind of like perverts and scary. They
Sure.
are. Like there's like every time you're at the water and you see dolphins and you're like, oh
Yeah.
sweet, let's swim out of the
Yeah,
dolphins,
yeah.
and then you get a bit closer and you're like, oh, I don't know, hey, they're a bit
Yeah.
aggressive.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But it now makes more sense why they're jumping up all the time. They just need so much air.
Yeah,
10
pathetic,
minutes. Yeah.
pathetic. I don't know how this animal evolved. Apparently, so advanced and so smart, and yet they still can't breathe underwater, and they live there.
Shout out to sloths, because that's pretty impressive. 40 minutes. That's got to be up there
Yeah,
in breath holds for animals.
yeah. Big shout down to jaguars.
Shout
And,
down.
and not only the animal, the car as well.
Oh, yeah. I've been seeing this Jaguar stuff popping up.
Oh, it used to be so much class, and like now, what are they going all electric?
I
Like the
heard
new
that.
logo looks terrible, and used to look so boss. They had the leaper and like
Oh, yeah.
it was like fierce. Now, like it's the most pathetic brand campaign that's just gonna ruin like decades of
Yeah.
luxury and like Bond,
It's their brand. Like, that's what people know Jaguar as, is that
Yeah.
class, power, British engineered. Like, oh,
Yeah. And what is it like? I think they've been losing heaps of cash. So now they're like,
yeah.
oh, we can't compete with Bentley or Rolls-Royce. And they're making all these trash cars apart from F-Type, which was sick. What,
No.
who are they, like, who's their new competitor? What segment are they in? Like Kia and Hyundai?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I saw the ad campaign come out, and I thought it was like a fashion show. I was like, this isn't a car company. I'm like, well, what's going on? Then
No,
they released that pink car. Did you see that? Their concept
no,
car or something? Oh,
no.
you're gonna hate it. It looks.
Oh, I
It just
already hate it.
doesn't look good. Yeah, it doesn't look good at all. But as you're saying, as a kid, Jaguar to me was like up there. I think I first fell in love
Nice.
with Jaguar. Die Another Day.
That's it.
Pierce Brosnan with
Yeah.
the evil guy, the green
Diamond
XKR, diamond
Yeah, yeah.
face man,
Yeah,
green
yeah.
XKR convertible. You had the big machine gun turret,
Yeah.
rockets, and it was just a sick looking car. It sounded
On
so
the
good.
ice, like that
Oh,
scene, oh, that
yeah,
was like
yeah,
unreal.
so good. F-Type came out, and I'm like, the V8
Sick
in that
car.
is so cool, and it's
Yeah,
such
yeah,
a
yeah.
good looking car. And then they've got even old cars like XJ220, which had like the top speed record in the 90s, which is now like worth heaps. What else have they got? They got all these. Oh, how could I forget the
The
E-Class?
the SUV's pretty decent, I reckon. The
I think
new,
that was
the
cool. Yeah,
like it was relatively new. I
yeah,
reckon it was
yeah,
quite cool. It had a good
yeah.
sound to it too.
Good sound. Yeah, yeah. The E-Type is probably top 5 most beautiful cars of all time. That's it.
What?
Yeah, the E-Type is
Wait,
so beautiful.
I think that's the one I don't like. Oh wait,
What?
no,
How
no.
could you not?
E-Type,
Okay.
E-Type's dope. E-Type's dope.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
What's
yeah.
the one that came out after the S-Type?
There's an X-Type.
X,
There's
X.
an
That was gross.
X was, yeah, it wasn't great. It wasn't great. It was all right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I remember, I think Jaguar had an F1 team as well, from memory. Yeah, they did. Like, I don't know what's happened to the company. It's, you know,
They've cooked it.
yeah. Well, we'll see what happens. But yeah, you're right. That logo, it's like a 4-year-old had done it.
I know.
And then I also wanted to bring up another thing, I guess kind of to do with planes and fuels, but more to do with efficiency. Do you think you use more fuel going faster or slower when driving?
When driving,
Yeah, in a car.
I reckon as long as you're going a consistent pace, it's probably not that different. What's the answer?
That's what I sort of thought, because I originally thought going faster would be more efficient in my eyes.
Oh,
I think that'd be like,
why?
I don't know, I just feel like in my car and previous, like when you're going on a highway or something, and you're going at higher speeds, that's when I get the most fuel efficiency.
But that's because you're going consistently like 110 and you're not changing.
Yeah,
Because it's the
but I'm guessing,
accelerating that's kind of driving.
well, yes, but I guess if we're talking constant speeds, do you think it's better to be at the faster end or, you know, whatever,
Oh, no. I
towards the
think
lower
if you're
end?
going at constant speed, faster would be using more fuel because you're pushing down more and it's, rotating the whatever
Well,
it's called more.
basically, that's what I found out. Essentially, at those higher speeds, your RPM is a lot higher, which is
Yeah.
actually using up a lot more fuel. Apparently, the sweet spot is 50 kilometers an hour to 80 kilometers an hour.
Oh, what?
Which,
So if you go under 50, you're using less. You're using more than when you go
yeah,
50.
yeah. I mean, they're saying at higher speeds, drag can be a consideration, which I understand.
Hmm.
Could have a streamlined car. But I've always thought 100 would be the sweet spot. But 50 to 80, keep it nice low revs, nice and fuel efficient. That's
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Not
Don't
blown
be a
away.
sloth about it.
Yeah,
Not blown away.
not blown away.
You thi-
I felt really dumb about. I was like, because I'm, preparing to go to the cold,
yes.
and I was thinking about snow, and I was like, how does snow work? I'm like, how does it even work? Like, I was trying to figure it out. I'm like, it just comes from the sky, and it's like wigging out about it. It's nuts though, right? Like, you're just walking, and then this fluffy ice comes, and then you can make snowmen and stuff.
Yeah.
But it was just a wig out, and like I had to think it through for ages. I'm like, okay, where's it coming from? Clouds. Clouds
Yep.
produce rain. How does
Yeah.
the rain turned to snow. Oh, okay, because it's cold, obviously, so it's sub-zero, so it must turn to ice. And
Mm.
then how did it get to the cloud? Oh, evaporated from the body of water. Okay, it all makes sense. And then I was like, but then the snowflakes are all unique and like this crazy
Yeah.
patterns and like hexagonal shapes. And I'm like, what's the go with that? Like, why isn't rain falling doing random different shapes? Why is it always these,
One raindrop. Yeah. Boring and
yes, six-shaped unique little thing?
yeah.
And so apparently, I did look that up, is H2O molecules need to bond in six sides because that's the angle at which water molecules bond. And it's just the most stable way they can arrange themselves in ice form. It's like wild shit.
Ah, that is pretty wild. Pretty
It is
scientific
wild.
of you.
I'm a Smith Buster, I guess.
Have you been hearing about these like words of the year coming up? You know, always towards the end of the year they're like, oh yeah, the word of the year is no? I
No.
always like it. I like hearing what they think is such a great or important word. It normally almost classifies the year, or what kind of year it's been. Cambridge this year went with manifest. I was like, yeah, like
Yeah.
apparently a lot of people believe in manifestation. Dua Lipa,
Yeah.
Tom Holland, Simone Biles.
I
Yeah,
guess so. It just
still with
always
goal
reminds me
setting.
of succulent Chinese meal.
Succulent Chinese meal.
Yeah, yeah.
That sounds
You
very
know,
familiar. I'm trying to remember what
this
that
is
is.
democracy manifest. Yeah, like you've seen the succulent Chinese meal video, right?
It sounds really familiar.
I can't believe you haven't
Yeah.
seen it. It's like one of the most classic Australian videos of all time.
Oh,
Like eating
actually,
a
I have.
meal, a
Yeah.
succulent Chinese meal, and
Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah. That's the guy that's like getting put into the car by the cops.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
don't touch mine.
yeah, yeah, yeah. There's he putting in like democracy manifest. I think that's what he says.
Yeah, yeah. I think he relatively recently passed away, that dude. Dies aged 82, 7th of August. There you go. Jack Carlson.
Rest in peace.
Succulent
Does he say?
Chinese meal.
Does he say democracy manifest? Is that
I
what he
don't know. I
says?
have to, probably. I'll plug it. But yeah, Oxford came out with their Oxford Dictionary. They chose brain rot due to
Brain rot?
due to it's apparently what happens to your brain when you're doom scrolling on your phone. And then the Macquarie Dictionary have chosen enshittification, which is apparently the gradual deterioration of a service or product.
Right.
Which I found I thought that was quite a good word, to be honest. Essentially, you know, like you're getting bags of chips or crisps these days, and just getting the same size, but less and less, you know, chips in there. Shrinkflation. Yeah. Is that,
Yeah.
is that another word?
Yeah, I think that's how they
Right.
call
Yeah.
that's what they call it.
What
Did a
else?
bit of fishing the other couple of weeks. Caught some nice snapper. Did it on like
Yum.
in
I
the
love snapper.
fish press thing on charcoal.
Yeah,
Unreal.
nice.
Very happy with it.
Always.
But like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
all the fish that I got pretty much, they all had the isopods. And like when you tell
Isopods.
yeah, so like
I'm
any
sorry.
non-fisher usually like wigs out so much. So like
Mm.
they call them the dentist, right? So you think dentists are scary? Well, we haven't seen these isopods. They're like straight out of a horror movie. Hey, there's little worm, alien-looking things that attach to a fish's tongue, rip it out, and then become the tongue. It's like a parasite. So first
That's
eats like the
crazy.
fish's blood and tissue, and then just
Yeah.
mooches of whatever the fish is eating, like the ultimate freeloader. So like,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
anglers call it the dentist. But these things are evil, man. Like,
I feel like I don't want to see what these look like. It looks scary. Like an alien movie or like. I'll put it
I
up
mean, they're
there,
pretty
but
cool. But
yeah.
yeah, like I feel like they're just taking over, man. Anytime I catch fish, like 60% of them have this dentist in there.
Is it necessarily like I guess a bad thing? I mean, it doesn't sound like a good thing for the fish, but I guess as far as I don't know.
I mean,
Does it
I've
make it-
eaten one before, and it was
Oh,
fine.
yeah, nice. Fair
Just
enough.
because Beth was grossed out about it, I'm like,
I'm gonna show how. Yeah, that's nothing.
yeah.
Yeah.
But they're like when you think about it, trippy
Pretty
stuff.
gross. Yeah. I mean, speaking of fishing, kind of, I can loop this back somehow. Do
Tell
you
me.
care that Rafael Nadal has retired?
No, but I don't
Yeah.
care much for tennis or
Yeah.
sports.
Yeah. Whereas I care that he's retired. You know, he began playing tennis at 3 years old. He turned pro at 15. His uncle coached him. He plays left-handed, just like Jerry Seinfeld and George Costanza, I found out the other day.
Okay.
But he's actually right-handed. So he plays with his left
Yeah,
hand. It's pretty crazy.
that's a bit strange.
He was 19 years old when he won his first Grand Slam, the French Open, Roland Garros, in 2005. He's known for being really superstitious. Like, so when he plays, puts all his bottles, everything in their exact place. Like, it's crazy. And before he serves, he like scratches his butt, shakes his shirt off 6 times, wipes his head. Exact same every time. It's pretty
OCD.
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then apparently he won 81 consecutive matches on the clay courts. So he's basically been crowned the king of clay. And then he was so good on clay, and Federer was so good on grass surfaces, that they had this match in 2007 called the Battle of the Surfaces. So they made this custom court. One side was clay, one side was grass, and they battled it out. And I'm like, that's pretty cool to have your own custom court
Yeah,
made.
that's cool.
The first time sort of thing. They had
And who
this
won?
match. I don't know.
You know who won?
I don't know. I'll have to find that one out. They also had this match for Africa, number 6 in 2020, which was held at Cape Town, which was also Federer and Nadal. And this match set the world record for attendance with over 51,000 spectators, which doesn't sound like a lot, but maybe, as you said, tennis doesn't get that big of crowds. And then during his career, he's got the most titles at a single Grand Slam, which is basically he's won 14 titles in the French Open at Roland Garros. He's got 22 Grand Slams. He's got 135 million career prize money. And he also enjoys fishing and golf. So
why are
I
you so
feel
upset?
like I think he's a legend. He's basically one of those top 3 tennis players of all time. He's in that. It's the end of a legacy. Like, Federer's retired. Now Nadal's retired. They're just...
Well, so are they the 2 GOATs, you reckon? Are there any other GOATs?
There are, like, Djokovic is, mentioned
okay.
up there, of course.
That's the same group. Is there
the
prior
top 3.
GOATs?
There are. I'm trying to think of what their names are. Clearly, I don't know. I don't know if McEnroe's maybe not a GOAT, but he's... there's another dude
Lleyton Hewitt?
Lleyton Hewitt's bloody legend.
Yeah.
He's got the same birthday as me, actually. But I'm sure... I mean, maybe it comes back to your, GOAT talk. Maybe tennis players don't even get mentioned in the sort of sporting tennis, world. I mean, I'm looking, there's Bjorn Borg. I don't know if you've heard of him.
Oh, yeah.
He's got a boss name.
He's got a
Rock.
brand, right? Does he do tennis
Think-
stuff?
I think so. I don't know. Probably. Obviously, there's Agassi, which I forgot about. He was kind of a
Yeah.
legend.
Yeah.
He's a pretty cool dude. Good biography, autobiography. I'd recommend it. Rod Laver's an Aussie legend. He's got a stadium named
Lazenby.
after him. Rod Laver. Rod Lazenby.
Todd Lazenby, isn't that someone?
I don't know.
George
sure.
Lazenby?
George Lazenby is the James Bond Aussie character.
Yeah.
Shout out to George Lazenby.
Shout out.
James Bond, who was born in Goulburn.
Ah.
He only had one James Bond movie, I think.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy.
James Bolburn.
James Lazenby. George Bondenby.
George Goldenberg. Goldberg.
You know, it's decided George Goldberg is the tennis aficionado goat. Uh,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
Glad we got
You
that
know,
cleared up.
you know, that's a crazy athlete story I got for you. That's got nothing to do with the
Yeah.
sport. But you know,
Yeah.
Antoine Griezmann?
Oh, class French footballer. He always used to cheat
Yeah,
with in FIFA whenever you'd
yeah.
play.
Yeah.
So
Griezmann?
fast.
Yeah.
Griezmann.
Well,
Griezmann,
you know
yeah.
what's pretty crazy? So he has 3 kids with the same
That's
birthday on different years.
they have the same date of birth on
Different
3
years.
separate years.
Yeah.
That is crazy. So they all have the
So,
same birthday basically every year.
yeah, the odds are uncanny, but pretty much like they worked out like on April 8th, or like they're all on April 8th, so 9 months earlier, what was going on, and it's pretty much Bastille Day. So Griezmann's just going
Oh yeah.
around firing rounds, scoring goals, trying to get that perfect lineup of
Yeah.
birthdays for his kids. Wild.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, firing rounds had me a bit confused, but now I'm on the same page as you now.
Yeah,
I was like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, that's pretty crazy.
very
Um,
crazy.
did you hear about this banana that was stuck on a wall?
Oh, sold for ridiculous amounts of money.
$9.6 million sold for. And
Yeah.
it's just a banana duct taped to a wall.
What was it called? Like
Arts?
Death of Comedy or something like that?
Yeah, I think it's called The Comedian or something like that.
Comedian. Yeah.
Yeah. I was just, you see that and you're like, how did I not think of that? That's genius.
Well, money
Art.
laundering.
Money laundering. Yeah.
That's what it's there for.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know. I was just like, it could also be, you know, it's like all this NFT stuff that's probably still going around. But apparently, this piece of art has been multiple times in exhibitions.
It's what?
So it's been eaten. Like people are eating this work of art. I mean, I'm glad because the banana's just going to go off.
Yeah, yeah. Think about the
Like-
monkeys.
The monkeys. But you know, we were speaking last week about cool names.
Mm-hmm.
This guy, I feel like he won the name lottery.
me.
Maurizio Catalan.
Maurizio Catalan.
Yeah,
Is
I
he
think that's
Catalonian?
I don't know. Probably, you'd hope so.
Yeah.
Let's have a look where Maurizio's from. Italian visual artist from Padua in Italy. I don't know where Padua is.
So he's Italian. He's not Catalonian.
Yeah, he's basically a genius. That's what he is. You know how cheap bananas are? Bloody bargain. He's
Bananas?
sold one with a, huh?
Oh, that's the artist.
Yeah.
I thought you were just telling me a random guy with a cool name.
No, that's the artist.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, just pulling out names I've seen of just a random dude on the street. Yeah. I wish I sold that banana, I tell you.
Well, shoulda, woulda, coulda. Instead,
woulda,
you're
coulda.
wasting your time making podcasts.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, well, I'll get a banana later and, I don't know, maybe I'll nail it to a wall. Bang!
I saw you've been running in the gym on a treadmill now.
Yeah, it is a bit chilly over here, so don't want to risk getting sick these days. It's just not worth it. And I just
It's
rather,
that
you know,
cold?
when it gets to the 1 degree, 0 degree mark, or even the minuses, you're like, yeah, I really fancy. Like you can wear a beanie and gloves and stuff. It's just another
Yeah.
reason to get me to go for a run. Really, is the option to go on into the gym on the treadmill. Look, it's not
Yeah,
great,
yeah.
but yeah.
Oh, I hate the treadmill. I hate the treadmill. It's a punishment. And you
I
know
don't think-
what? It actually was a punishment. So, you think you hate them, so did prisoners back in the 1800s. And they couldn't just hop off after half an hour. So let me blow your mind with this.
All right.
1818, English engineer Sir William Cubitt invented the treadmill, right? For prison
Cubit.
labor. So old Cubit here, going around looking at prisoners, doing nothing, and thought, hey, what if they just powered something useful like grinding grain or pumping water? And they weren't today's treadmills, right?
logical.
So he came up with something like an endless staircase. So like a rotating hamster wheel from hell.
Well,
Prisoners
they have
climb.
those these days. The
Yeah,
Stairmasters.
they do. So this is pretty much
Torture.
what he came up with, where they'd have to
Yeah.
do this for hours, like holding onto a rail, and
Yeah.
not there to burn calories, but just to grind away as punishment. And in 1865, it was mandatory for male prisoners sentenced to hard labor. So the
Crazy.
treadmill just doubled as a grain mill.
Oh yeah. So
So
you're essentially saying,
you're going there punishing yourself like prisoners in the 1800s.
yeah. I feel like every time I use it, I'm like, oh, I'm using up all their electricity at the gym. But basically, I should be charging.
You should.
Yeah, like charging their electricity or getting some grain, making some wheat bix or porridge or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like,
You just strap
Yeah.
like a solar panel to your head. And take the electricity that you've generated for them.
wind turbine on my back and just
It's like
Yeah, there you go.
it was cool actually. I don't know if I already told you this. When I went to the Coldplay concert, they had like
the lights on the wrist.
oh, that too, but
Yeah,
the
yeah.
floor under the dance where like the standing area was, they
Yeah.
somehow from all the stamping and the noise and vibrations were collecting that energy and using it to power
That's
some of the lighting.
crazy. I
Yeah.
didn't know they could do that.
Well, it could be a gimmick. Like when they were saying that, I was
course.
like, this might be bullshit, but it sounded really cool.
I mean, that would work well. It's like breakfast. It sounds logical and makes sense to make people have breakfast or jump and go crazy more. You're like, oh, you're
Yeah.
saving the planet. You're
Yeah, yeah,
generating energy. Yeah, that's
But if
genius.
it was very cool.
I feel we haven't talked about it in this pod. Have you been watching anything particular recently? Any movies, TV shows that you want to shout out?
Yep. So I watched 3 things lately.
Okay, yeah, nice.
Shrinking. Did I already talk about that last episode?
Shrinking. I don't think so. I don't shrink
Really
so.
lovely with Marshall
No, I haven't.
from How I Met Your Mother
Nice.
and
yeah.
Harrison Ford. Really good show. Like covers problems of different people in different lives. Highly recommend it.
Nice.
Been watching season 2 of Bad Sisters. Quite good. And then you know what I watched that I really want to shout out, and this is Harry and Liz told me, and I was like,
yeah.
oh yeah, I'll give it a go. Trying, man.
Trying.
That talking about this is my age of crying. This show, I was like tearing up every single episode. It was like
wow.
the most nice, emotional, happy, sad show ever.
So a nice cry, like a not turn this off or
No, like a
warming.
heartwarming ass. I really, really recommend it for a nice cry.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah,
You don't really
like
get many nice cries, to be honest. Like
No.
most of them are more just like sad, like or just emotional.
Well,
whereas
it's
this sound-
it's emotion. It's kind of like
but
you
it's
know,
a positive
Inside Out.
cry.
It's a positive cry most of the time.
Yeah. Seems like a lot of these are on Apple TV.
Yeah,
right?
that's fine. I got
Yeah.
Apple TV, so I've just been
Yeah.
going through these shows on
Binge,
Apple
yeah.
TV.
I don't have Apple TV. Anyway, good to know. Because I
I
watched.
Apple TV is
Yeah.
really good, by the way. Like if
I've
you
heard,
haven't
yeah.
had it before, it's got so much stuff in there. Like we
No.
got it just to rewatch Ted Lasso, and then we haven't got
Yeah.
to Ted Lasso yet because it's everything else is just.
I've
there's
been
so
wanting to
much.
bring that. Like, as soon as you mentioned Apple TV, I just think of Ted Lasso. I've heard so many good things about it. I don't know.
Oh,
maybe
you
it's
haven't
just
seen
the
it?
UK. No.
Mate, it's
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
It's also a good. There's a fair few crying parts
Oh
in
really?
Ted Lasso.
I love crying.
Yeah, same.
Because I was going to mention to you. I'm hoping you've seen it, but have you seen the movie Phone Booth?
Yeah, Colin Farrell.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
I was thinking, how did they make a whole movie and they've entirely filmed it in a phone booth? Like, you think about it, like, the the majority of the movie / all of the movie is just that phone booth. It's just that one scene, and it's a whole movie. It's pretty crazy.
That's crazy. I haven't actually.
Yeah, they
I
filmed
didn't
the whole
realize that.
thing in that one scene, like one shot, which is awesome. And it's also such a confined space.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
like think about being the actor, Colin Farrell, in that situation. All the different camera angles you have to get, being in that space for such a long time. I mean, he's such a great actor, Colin Farrell.
So
I
good.
thought it was a great movie and the concept.
Yeah.
And I was also
And
thinking
really
as
good
far as
twist from memory, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because the whole concept as well is like there's the guy on the phone, obviously speaking to him, and his voice is so good. Is it Keith Sutherland? And it's
Oh,
so
is it
like
Kiefer Sutherland?
yeah.
Yeah, right.
And it's so good, so gripping. You're like, how could they make this such a gripping movie of such a boring thing of a guy standing in a phone booth? But
Yeah.
I thought it was, and they had like a 13 million budget for it, which isn't that much.
No, it's nothing.
I was reading up about it because it's saying the events of the movie take place in real time, which adds more tension and immediate feel to it, which I thought was a good aspect because I think it's quite a short movie. It's 81 minutes, which is pretty short
Yeah, it's
nowadays.
pretty short.
And apparently it was a real phone booth they used. So
Right.
shocking. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know, 7.1 on IMDb. I thought it should get a better rating than that.
Yeah,
in
I
my
remember
opinion.
when it came out, and I had the DVD as well, and
Yeah,
like
nice.
it was gone. I rewatched that a few times.
Yeah. I mean, I'm wondering what the next movie they're gonna, come up with where they can film in one location and make it that good.
Well, they've got one coming, and it goes throughout like a whole life, I think. So it's with Tom Hanks and Jenny from Forrest Gump,
No way. Yeah.
and it's all shot from one angle in the living room, and it's like a
Oh
span of
yeah,
all their life.
I have seen that pop up. That looks
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah.
Apparently, it's good chance of bombing though. I think I was reading reviews based on like a premiere or something, and it
It's
was
got too much
pretty
pressure
average.
on it. Yeah.
I'll still watch it.
Yeah. My last point for you this week. Where do you think the happiest city in the world is 2024?
Scandinavia,
Yeah, you're on the money there. You want to have a
Helsinki,
no.
Oslo,
No.
Copenhagen.
It is in Denmark. It's Aarhus. Probably
Right.
pronouncing that completely wrong. But they've said that is the city of smiles. And I was reading up what makes this the happiest place? Why do they choose that? So apparently they have futuristic bins, which transfer money in exchange for recycled coffee cups. Which I'm incentive to recycle,
cool.
sure, makes you
Yeah.
happy, whatever. Uber's a band, which I was like, okay, you just gotta ride your bike everywhere sort of situation. I don't know. They have this spaceship library called Doc One. That sounded pretty cool.
That's
It's
cool.
good to have a good public spaceship library.
That would really make me happy.
Yeah. The working day ends at 4 for many people, which is the way it
Right.
should be in my eyes. They have 4 Michelin-starred restaurants. Pretty decent.
That's not that
And
great.
okay, I don't know what the average would be across cities, to be honest. Maybe it's a smaller city. Education, mobility, access to green spaces are huge factors in this city, which I think are pretty key areas of building a city.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to know what you thought would be some key factors of building a happy city, or what.
Well, I
you've
call
got some
bullshit.
Okay.
And I think I mentioned this in another episode.
Yeah.
All these, Scandinavian cities
you
that are
think-
apparently so happy, bullshit. Because they're probably taking that sample in the peak of summer when everyone's got like all
Yeah.
their snooze and good food and sun.
Vitamin
to
D,
winter.
just
Yeah, where
No
there's
one's-
no sun, no one's doing anything. Seasonal depression as it's at world heights, Like, give me a break. It's the happiest city in the world. It's the happiest city for like 3 months, and then it's terrible.
You might
I
be
think
right.
weather is so critical.
It is. It is, of course.
Weather, and like, yeah, all the other fronts I get they're doing well in, like
Mm.
employment opportunities, social public areas, good
Yeah.
healthcare, public transport, education.
Good community, cleanliness, the
But
environment.
the weather, man, the weather is so important.
It's so important. But
And like, we have like the best weather in the world.
hasn't it been storming heaps recently in Sydney? And
Yeah,
raining
okay.
heaps? But I guess
Yeah,
everywhere
you
does
need
that, maybe.
you need a bit of rain for the farmers,
It's for the grass, for the
Yeah,
cows.
you need a bit. That's why we've just nailed
Of
it.
course.
We've got, periods of
You got
rain,
good
but
crops, great
we got
vegetation.
some of the best resources in the world. We should be a top 5 economic superpower. We've got iron ore, we've got, coal, we've got gas, we've got oil. We got it all, man. We got some of the highest reserves of cobalt in the world. We're just like not using them efficiently because we have terrible deals. But we're
Yeah,
like unreal from a resource perspective.
we're a powerhouse. That's great. Yeah.
Well,
Well,
we in Australia, not you
yes,
in
of
the UK.
course. Yes, of course. But I was also reading that I think Sydney didn't even make the top 100 happiest cities. So maybe you're bullshit.
Yeah, well, that's I guess because people are too used to how good it is.
Yeah, they got it. Well, maybe as you bring it back all the way to the start of the pod, maybe it's just all a marketing gimmick. It's
It is.
all because that's just getting tourism. Oh,
Yeah.
maybe people getting to live there, etc. Go visit that city.
Who goes to Denmark? Like,
I don't know.
I mean, I went to Denmark, but I went to Denmark because so when I was
What idiot would go to Denmark? Oh yeah, I went to Denmark.
when we were in England and it was my birthday, and me and Beth were like, oh, should we go, go somewhere?
Yeah,
11 squid return flights with Ryanair.
bargain.
It's cheaper than
Yeah.
getting a train into like
train,
London to get
100%.
there. So we went, and it was fun. It was cool, but like,
Yeah, I mean Denmark isn't. There's Legos from Denmark. The Little Mermaid. I don't know.
yeah.
Vikings. There's good
We
things.
saw the
Danish
Little
foods.
Mermaid statue, and like
Yeah,
that's
nice.
a big like the opera house, whatever. And you go, and you go see this statue, and it's like honestly the size of like a Coke can, and you're like,
Really, a Little Mermaid.
like, what the fuck is this? Like, is this
Yeah.
really, is this really like
I
the
came all
national
this
treasure?
way. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's wild. That is.
Who,
I mean,
who's
I'm.
the author of Little Mermaid? Kipling or Christensen?
Little Mermaid author.
I
Let's
think
have a look.
Kipling made
Hans
Mowgli.
Christian Andersen,
Christian Andersen.
1836. Well, that's crazy. I didn't realize such an old.
He did a lot of like folklore tales and fairy tales.
Nice.
But yeah, I think Kipling did Mowgli. If you can fact check.
Oh, I love. What, the Jungle Book?
Yeah.
Kipling. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I love the Jungle Book. Oh,
It's great.
oh, so good.
La 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 la. La 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 la. Food discussions of
the
podcast.
podcast.
Food discussions of the podcast. Food discussions of the podcast. Boom.
Boom. All right.
So,
Have you
I got one for you.
Good.
You're broke. Payday's away.
Yeah.
What meal are you living on to be satisfied and happy and not spend much money?
Great question. A couple of things come to mind.
Mhm.
First instinct, being in the UK, it's a massive popular thing here. Jacket potatoes. So, get yourself a jacket potato. You can chuck in some beans in there, have some tuna in there. It's pretty good. You can't,
Yeah.
it's like, I feel like I get over it pretty quickly, in all honesty. But I think I get over things very quickly in most situations. The other thing I was thinking of, maybe a bolognese or pasta dishes is what I'm
Yeah,
thinking.
pretty cheap.
That's what I'm thinking.
Aglio
Tuna
olio.
pasta. Yeah, yeah. Those
Um,
are my two options: jacket potato or pasta. Maybe
fair.
sandwiches. Maybe not.
Sandwiches, it depends what you put in there. It could end up being
It's
quite
true.
pricey.
It's true. 100%. Have just caviar sandwiches.
Yeah. Yeah, good stuff.
Gold flaked. Why? What would you go for if you got
Well,
broke on this?
I mean, probably like eggs, man. Just heaps of eggs.
Oh yeah, didn't think of eggs. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like boiled eggs, fried eggs, scrambled eggs. Really
Oh,
like
delicious.
eggs.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Good protein. You got
yeah,
good nutrients in there, healthy,
yeah.
cheap,
Good
filling.
shout. Guess it
Yeah,
depends how you could get like whole chickens. I feel like you get pretty good value out of a whole chicken. It's a pretty
yeah,
bargain.
yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
just drumsticks. I don't know. Maybe we're getting a bit too luxe over here. You know.
Yeah, yeah, deluxe. But like,
Yeah.
yeah, I know heaps of people like love packet noodles, and I really
Oh
enjoy them
yeah.
as well.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I just don't feel healthy after them, you know?
No, no, no. Like, is it man? What are the? I'm blanking. What are those Indonesian ones?
Mee goreng.
Mie goreng. I haven't had one of those for ages. I remember I
Yeah,
had a good phase of those. I was like
yeah.
loving them. But yeah, you
Well,
don't
it's all about Shin ramyun now. The one in the red
shin.
packet with the black writing.
Oh yeah, you say it's a
That's
ramen
like,
sort of thing.
yeah, I feel like the last 5 years or so, that's
Oh yeah, I've
like
seen those. Yeah.
maybe on par with mee goreng.
Oh true. I haven't actually tried one of those to be honest.
It's gone,
Raider?
bro. It's
Yeah.
gone.
Nice. All right, so we're gonna go with eggs, pasta, sandwiches, and
Maybe
bolognese.
sandwiches.
Maybe
Maybe a
sa-
sandwich.
maybe
Yeah.
caviar sandwich. All right, gone. Nice. You got another one, or do you want me to get something for you?
I got another one.
Okay.
So I mean, I was thinking about Sydney, but really you can think about it worldwide.
Mm-hmm.
What is the best chicken shop and why? I'm talking Frango's,
Yeah, yeah.
Nando's, bleh, Oporto's, like, just your classic suburban chicken shop. What are you going for?
Look, you've mentioned those. I mean, it probably would have to be Frango's from personal experience. I have been fortunate enough to go to Portugal and have Portuguese chicken, and it is on par with Frango. So I think that is the best style of chicken you can get from a shop is a Portuguese style peri peri chicken. That's me.
Has to be charcoal.
Yes,
Yeah,
100%.
yeah. None of this
Yeah.
bullshit Portuguese chicken based,
With
but in a
flavoring. Yeah,
rotisserie.
no, no,
Oh,
no. It needs
get
to be
off.
done right.
Yeah,
Like I think I've also recently I've been doing it like I've spatchcocked the chicken, which makes it just
like
better.
butterflied it.
Yeah, butterfly it, yeah. And it just makes it better. Easier
Yeah,
to cook, easier to carve up, chop up.
yeah,
I
yeah,
don't know, get better coverage on the skin and good charcoaly bits. Yeah, oh, you
yeah,
make me
yeah.
starving. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
no,
my
I'm
verdict.
the same. Frango's is the king. There's
Okay.
this one joint called Charcoal Kingdom, and they're
Oh yeah.
like, they do like a red tomatoey kind of Portuguese style,
Yeah.
but with the smokiness and char of El Jana, and it's
Mm.
pretty gun. It is pretty gun. And they're chips, thick chips, no bullshit
Mm.
fries, with like a peri peri seasoning.
Yeah,
Very,
nice.
very good.
What sauce are going with the chippies?
I didn't have sauce with the chippies,
Oh yeah,
I
just
don't
needed the
think.
salt, the peri peri salt. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice, nice, nice. Because I was just thinking, how do El Jana do their chicken? What's their seasoning going on there, or is it just straight charcoal, salt, pepper sort of situation?
No, they got
Or
like
garlic?
a garlicky, herby thing going on,
Okay.
but
I don't.
it's the
I don't know.
flavors of Frango's
Yeah.
is unparalleled.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, so good. Um. All right. Well, I'm glad that one's quite easy, straightforward. Because I was also thinking when you first asked it. I remember. Is it Malaysian that the poached chicken you can get? What's that called again?
Oh
With the
yeah, Hainan.
Hainan chicken. Oh,
That's good
that's
stuff.
really good. Like that's juicy. It's one of those things that doesn't look great, but God, it's great. Like,
Yeah. I'm
yeah.
going Malaysia,
Oh,
and I'm
nice.
but I don't actually know if it is Malaysian. I think there's a Malaysian version of Hainan chicken.
Oh, okay, I didn't know what it was from. Yeah,
Because I think it's like Malay Chinese.
yeah, okay.
Um,
Singapore, it's saying here, first thing popping up.
Singaporean.
Created by immigrants from Hainan in southern China and adapted from, yeah.
But yeah, I'm pumped. I'm pumped to have some heaps of Hainan chicken at like the Hawkers.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Hell yeah.
Heaps of ginger all over it. That beautiful rice with the
ginger.
chicken stock.
The chili sauce they have is unbelievable.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Okay, my food question for you of the week. Let's see. Bit of a random one, but we can go for it. Do you think broccoli sprouts are the best superfood? Because I've
Broccoli
heard Mike.
sprouts.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
Or was it Brussels sprouts?
Brussels
I don't know why-
sprouts.
Maybe broccoli sprouts is a thing. Maybe it's not. Oh, it is. Yeah, broccoli sprouts are a thing.
I need to look what they look like.
They look like
White
little.
lag.
Yeah, you're right. Little hairy forest foods. I'll give you some background. Broccoli sprouts apparently have load a lot of fiber and protein into just a few calories.
Oh yeah, I really like broccoli sprouts.
Because Mike Posner, you probably could, you think you're cooler than me,
Cooler than me.
says they're the best superfood and they're great for your skin.
Okay. He's
Yeah.
a really happy dude now.
He is, dude.
It's nice
Yeah.
to see him now, like all happy and transformed.
Oh, 100%. I think he did like some crazy walking challenge or running challenge. I can't remember what it
Yeah,
was.
yeah.
Yeah.
I went to Antarctica and like swam there
Yeah.
and all this stuff.
Yeah, he's a cool dude. I like him.
Yeah. Because that song, like, Took a Pill in Ibiza, is like,
Yeah.
it's super sad
It
when
is.
you listen to the
Really
lyrics.
is.
Like,
Shout out Mike Posner.
yeah,
And shout out to
Posy.
Broccoli Sprouts.
Shout out Broccoli. Broccoli Rob.
All right. Broccoli Rob.
Office.
All right. You're always quoting Office. I need to watch Office more. I'm out of the loop here. I was thinking of Daddy Daycare when they dress up as the carrot and broccoli and fight each other. I love that.
That's a good one.
Yeah. All right. Well, should we call it there?
I guess so.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess I'll see you in the big old UK, I guess, and we might do a live pod there.
That's it. That's it, brother.
Yeah.
Boo.
Boom. Tyson Fury.
Tyson, tough.